Leave things as the professionals said it. About a decade ago, I worked for a big-name company electrostatic powder coating semi-wheels. The GM, who was actually a really good boss, got a trainer to come in and teach me what I was doing right and wrong. After a week we got things narrowed down with the settings on the machines that my quality improved a lot and my quantity of wheels I could paint in a day improved by about 5 to 10 per day. I was now averaging anywhere from 50 to 65 wheels a day. I used those same settings for almost a year before that same GM started messing with them. I had a few wheels from a trash company come to me covered in dried mud one day. Not the first time and wasn't going to be the last. I had knocked off as much as I could before stripping them and did my best to blow off what dust was left. I still missed some spots on the edges. Usually when this happens I end up with tiny holes on the edges of the rims. That day the GM had come back to get a count of paint to see what needed to be ordered. GM: What's with all the holes on the edges of these wheels? Me: It's from dirt. I didn't get it all off when I blew off the wheels. GM: Dirt doesn't cause this. I think your settings are the issue. Me: I'm telling you it's dirt. Every time we get these customers' wheels in with dried mud all over them, this is what happens. GM: Dirt doesn't cause this. I'll have some people come in to check this out. He left after that. Fast forward to next week and he meets me in the morning with about 4 other people. GM: These guys are going to look over the machines and adjust things so we no longer have issues. Me: I told you it was dirt. GM: The professionals are going to adjust the settings and you will leave them where they are at. If you don't, you will get written up. This is not up for discussion. Okay. Message heard loud and clear. I'll leave it to the professionals and not touch a thing. Thankfully my powder gun had multiple settings. I asked the professional to set his new settings on another preset. The next day I noticed the wheels I painted were coming out yellow. I also noticed that the paint was very thin in certain spots. Due to my new settings, the positive charge was blasting powdered paint away from the wheels. A few days go by, GM comes back and sees all my new painted white wheels yellow and asks why everything is coming out yellow. I told him it was because the oven was set to high. GM: Why didn't you change it? That's over 100 wheels that need to be redone. Me: I was told not to change the settings the professionals set, so I didn't touch it. He walked over and turned it down and told me to leave it. A week later I get called into the office. One of our biggest customers was complaining that their wheels needed to be removed and repainted after a week or two due to starting to rust. We delivered over 150 wheels a week to them. GM: What is going on here? The paint too thin and the customer is complaining. Do I need to call the professionals back in to look things over? Me: It wouldn't change much because I haven't touched anything on the machine since they were out last time. GM: Just fix it. I don't care what you do, just fix it. He never questioned me again when it came to powdered coating. Relevant comment. Reminds me of my last job. Spent 3 to 4 weeks training on all the machines in our department. Got so comfortable with how everything ran after 2 to 3 months that my supervisor, my immediate boss, and the plant president, boss of the entire location, was coming to me first when something wasn't going right. I had so much respect for our plant president because of that. He came out on the floor every day, talked with all of us in every department, wanted to know if we needed anything or if anything was going on that was preventing efficiency, trusted those of us on the machines because we ran them every day and would know if something was off. We were all pretty sure he had started in a similar position, which is why he showed respect to all of us. But every office personnel between my supervisor and plant president? You never saw or heard from them until something went wrong, and then all of a sudden they had all the answers and telling you how to do your job when they had never run any of the machines. All because they knew how to read a booklet outlining the basics of running them. The first 6 months or so I would try arguing with them that what they were saying didn't apply, wouldn't work, would make things worse, etc. Plant president would even back me and tell them to listen to what I was saying since I had the experience, but they just decided their higher position meant they were right and would keep pushing. So I'd have to do their suggestions, which never worked or in fact made it worse, which just made things take longer to fix. After those first 6 months I was just tired of their BS and just stopped arguing and just did what they said, knowing it still would never work or would make it worse. After about 2 years of seeing their input always failing to fix the problem, and it was almost always something I already knew how to fix or could figure out myself. On rare occasions maintenance would have to be called, but I was still the one telling them what needed to be done. I was just unable to do it myself. The plant president finally put his foot down and told the entire office my word was what mattered for my department. If anyone tried to argue or tell me how to do my job going forward, he'd go even higher up to the national president of the company and make them back off. For reference, the plant president was over everyone who directly worked for that location, while many of the office personnel were considered working for the national company, thus on more of a peer level with the plant president. The entire rest of the time I worked there, I never saw any of the other office personnel back in my department.